Hey y'all, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Angel, aka the Angelic Muse, and I am an intuitive tarot reader as well as a certified Reiki practitioner. As you can see from the title, I am here to do just an intuitive guidance tarot reading just for the collective. So I do have the lessons deck up here because y'all know I love the lessons deck. If you've been here before, I feel like I always use it. I love it though. And then I have the ancestor message oracle as well, just to see what they have to say. And then of course I have the tarot. Now just to be clear, the reason I say it right away is because this isn't like the traditional one in a sense where every card looks the same. There are a few that definitely do, but for the most part there are a few like minor arcana that look completely different. So just bear with me. I believe the names are on the bottom of it, so I shouldn't have too much trouble trying to figure them out, but in the event that I do, just anyway, so if this is something that you're interested in, just hold on. I'm going to live shuffle everything on camera. And then, yeah, so let's go ahead. We're going to start out with the tarot and see what the general collective energy is right now. I'm going to pull about 3 cards just to get the general energy. Okay, I don't like that because that was a bunch. Wait, oh shit, that was a bunch. Let's say, what is that? 2 of Swords, 8 of Cups, Queen of Cups. Okay, you're walking away from something clearly. You're walking away from some sort of confusion. You're walking away from stagnancy. And this is dealing with mental, but this is mental confusion, but it's leading you to an emotional fulfillment with this Queen of Cups here. And the interesting thing about it is that she has this cup and her water is spilling out. It's almost like she's either doing it on purpose and because there's an overflow, or she's doing it because there's something that she has to give back in a sense. She also has an angel halo around her head, which I think is interesting because the traditional Rider-Waite doesn't have that. So it's just giving me Temperance vibes. I don't know why. I feel like I just thought about the Temperance card. And the Temperance card is all about alchemy. And it's interesting because the angel in there is also pouring from one cup into the other. So I feel like what's happening here is you're finding a balance within yourself in order to navigate through this new life that is coming to you. And with the 8 of Cups here, 8 of Cups is all about, like I said, walking away from something. And it's interesting because you literally are leaving everything behind. You're going into this new season with a new found way of thinking, a newfound way of responding, a newfound way of solving problems. And it's definitely bringing you an abundance of like overflow, of growth, of emotional maturity for sure. Let's see here. And it's funny because in the 8 of Cups, there's typically a man in like the traditional Rider-Waite walking away, but in here there's a woman. So maybe you're tapping into like your feminine energy, whether you are a man or a woman, it doesn't really matter. Maybe you're being more receptive to the things that life is has in store for you. Maybe you are looking at it through a new lens of some sort. There's a lot of crescent moons on there as well, so you could be like it, and it's a waning as well. So I believe the waning is for like when things are coming in. I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just showing that you're coming into it with a newfound like freedom of some sort, and she's in grass. The Queen of Cups, that's not water that she's in. It's sitting in grass. So you're like fertilizing your space. You're growing. And now I'm thinking of the Empress. Like there's just so many different things so many different cards that are coming to my mind when I look at this Queen of Cups. But overall, I feel like you're taking your old life, integrating it with your new life. And it's creating an abundance of new opportunities. And again, like I said, newfound freedoms within you. Let's see what else we get here. Five of Cups. Five of Cups. See, you got Five of Cups here. Let's see what else comes out. Five of Swords. Okay, you got 2 5s so far. One dealing with your emotions and the other dealing with your thoughts, your intellect. And it's interesting because none of these cards have people, so I definitely think this is just an internal thing that you're going through right now. It's not really dealing with anyone else. This is like an isolation period that you're in. And this is work that is, maybe for some of you, it's past due. You know, you continuously go through it. And let's see, that one fell out. Two of Wands. Two of Wands. Let me get one more. I wasn't going to take those two because it was like off to the side. That one came out on its own. Two of Wands and then Knight of Swords. Yeah, so you're definitely coming into this with a new sense of like a new outlook on things. So with these 2 5s here, 5s in tarot, like, okay, let me just say. So the 5 of Cups, hold on one second. Okay, sorry, I had to fix that. Okay, so going back to what I was saying. So the 5 of Cups and this 5 of Swords, it seems like you are maybe mourning, or you were, if you're not still, you were mourning this life that you once had, maybe the comfortability of it, or maybe it was just one big thing that trickled down into all the rest, because this is an interesting card. There's this one big card and they pour out. These two are still standing. These are pouring out onto the ground, but they're also feeding it. So what you are doing is you're taking your experiences that you've learned from this sad moment or whatever it is that you went through, and you're applying them to this new season with these new cups, these 2 new cups. You're not necessarily, may have been very painful and hard to deal with at first, but what you're doing here with this 5 of Swords is you're setting the boundaries within yourself. You're not allowing yourself to sabotage yourself. You were self-sabotaging at a point, for sure. That's what I'm getting here. You were self-sabotaging, but now you've come into this new way of thinking about things, and it's causing you to realize, like, oh, well, I can pick and choose what it is that I allow into my space, whether this be negative people, negative thoughts, negative, like, you can apply it in any which way. But like I said, with these cards, there are no people involved, like the traditional right away. This is all within you. So there are certain things that you are setting boundaries for within yourself. And with the 2 of Wands here, I don't know if that's a deer or a moose or whatever, but the antlers, I know that they typically use those to defend themselves. So it's just solidifying the boundaries that you're setting here. So when it comes time to make the next decision, because 2 of Wands is all about making a decision, when it comes time to make that next decision, you are going to go into it with a new frame of mind with this Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is fast moving. It kind of doesn't think, but what it's interesting because it's facing the two of Wands. So I think that instead of you making rash decisions or making decisions based off of like impulse, you're doubling back. You're going back and thinking back to your previous experiences, and you're saying, okay, it went this way this time. Let me go about it in a new way. And you're definitely going to reap a lot of benefits from that. Like I said, with that Queen of Cups, she was pouring the water out. It was an abundance, an overflow of it. But obviously too much for her. Otherwise, she wouldn't have poured it out. I don't think that was on accident. I don't think that was on accident at all. I don't feel like it was, at least throughout this reading. Then you have the 9 of Swords. That's all about, and it's interesting. That's all about, like, maybe staying up at night or just like dwelling on shit that you can't change, whether it be dealing with someone else or someone close to you or within yourself. But again, these swords are facing out. This is like literally taking the experience and flipping it, maybe doing a complete 180 for most of you. You're like literally saying, I can't do it this way anymore. It's not benefiting me to stay up at night. It's not benefiting me. Like, if I'm gonna stay up at night, I'm gonna sit on the moon. I'm gonna be comfortable staying up. I'm not about to be crying over it. I'm gonna enjoy the stars. I'm going to rise above whatever this is and make the best of this situation in the best way that I can. All right, I'm gonna pull two more. Okay. Wheel of Fortune. Yes, faded moments. Faded moments. Everything coming around full circle for you, and that's a major arcana. So just know that this season that you're currently in, it was designed, it was destined to happen in the way that it did. And that is something that I feel like you're coming to understand. You're coming to appreciate and enjoy. And even in the uncomfortable moments, you're kind of looking at it in a way where it's like, listen, this is not happening to me. It's happening for me. It's happening for my growth. It's happening for my mental. It's happening for my future. It's happening for the people around me, the people that like maybe this, what you were dealing with has spilled over into your relationships, and you're like, okay, I can't continue on in this way. I can't continue on in this way for myself or others. And it's definitely working out for you for sure. It's definitely all coming together for you for sure. And then the wheel is also a circle, so full circle moments. Yep, death card. You're going through a major transformation right now, and I feel like for this time around, it's almost willing. It's not like a, for death, most times people are fearful of it. They kind of the unknown, fear of the unknown. It'll definitely fuck you up sometimes. It'll definitely hold you back. And I don't think that you're allowing that to happen for you right now. I do not. And you had, let me see what your major arcanas were. Yep, you had the Wheel of Fortune and the Death are your major arcana. I just had to make sure I have them like underneath each other. I know y'all can't see it, but I have them underneath each other. But either way, the Wheel of Fortune and the Death, and they both came out your last two final cards. So all of this that you're dealing with, it's faded. It's supposed to be this way. This is your timeline. And I think, like I said, I feel like you're growing to appreciate it. You're going with the flow. You're not allowing shit to break you down. You're like the way it was or the way it used to, because it doesn't help. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't benefit you. And there's a lot of cups, I think. Let me see. You got the 5 of Cups, the 8 of Cups, the Queen of Cups. I think there's more cups than anything. So this definitely was messing with you emotionally. But there's also 5 of Swords, 9 of Swords, Knight of Swords too. So it's definitely, this is surely, for sure, something that was internal within you. It didn't really have anything to do with other people. And if it did, it may have been on a minor scale. But just understand that life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you react to it. So this is like you realizing that, like, this shit is not happening to me in a way where I think it is. It's literally like, if I look at it from this angle, it creates a whole different story for me. And I feel like that's what's coming to you. That's what's coming to you in this moment. So let me pull some lesson cards, see what lessons the general collective is learning. Acceptance. I'm learning to accept things that I cannot change. Yep. Serenity prayer. I love that prayer. Look it up. Serenity prayer. I haven't memorized it yet, but every time I read it, it hits every time. I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change. You're literally changing yourself, because you know that you can control that. You control your actions, your thoughts, your way of being. You may not be able to control how shit goes down, the results of something, but you can control the way you look at it. You can control your perspective. You can control your outlook. And you're in purple. It's a purple card. So that's all about the third eye, like the intuition, just crown chakra energy. It's definitely more up here in your head than you think. You got blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. Yep, going back to acceptance. You're not allowing life to happen to you. It's happening for you. And then relationships. I'm attracted to those who serve my highest good, or my higher good, rather. Yep, the relationship with yourself is the most important one that you will have, because it'll literally set the tone for all the other ones that you have, whether that be platonic, familial, romantic. whatever the case may be. And you're understanding that you are what you attract. You are what you give out. So, it's not about blaming. It's not about, but you're accepting, like, okay, listen, I was this way in this situation, so that yielded these results. So if I want to yield these results, I'm going to have to show up in this way, and that is, like I said, and everything's a relationship. Job, the relationship you have with your job, the relationship you have with your career, the relationship you have with your kids, the relationship you have with your bed, the relationship you have with your family, the relationship you have with your car. Like, everything is a relationship. You either like it or you don't. And you're understanding that you play a huge role in that. You impact that more than you thought initially. So let's see. Ooh. Fear. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Exactly. That just reminded me of the death card again, going back to like fear of the unknown. But you're pushing past your limits. You are literally telling yourself, like, I got this. If they can do it, I can do it. And not only that, but because it's not even a comparison thing, but you're realizing, like, listen, it wouldn't have been presented to me if I wasn't ready for it. If I wasn't ready to make this change, then it wouldn't be in my face. These opportunities wouldn't be here, and I'm just going to do everything from a place of love, and I'm going to do everything from a place of light, and whatever comes of it. Granted, it may not, you could do something with great intentions behind it, and then the person or whatever, the thing may not be receptive to it, and you might get something back, but guess what? You did your part, and you don't have to live in fear thinking, okay, well, damn, like, I didn't do it that way, so how do I know? Like, exactly, like, okay, on to the next. Like, I'm going to try it again in another way, and with another person, with another job, with another, whatever it is that you are moving out of in this season. Like I said, it seems like it's more of an internal thing, but eventually it'll trickle down into your relationships with everything that you have. So if this lack of fear causes you to open up and it creates a catalyst of some sort for you to propel yourself forward, then that's what you're going to be open to doing. Like I said, with this death card, the Wheel of Fortune is here. The cycle has completed itself and you're on to the next one with this death card. You literally jump from the 10 to the 13. So let's see. This is the last one. I know that I am never alone. Exactly. Because God is with you at all times. God is with you at all times. Prayer definitely works in those moments when you do get fearful, because we're human. So in the event that you do find that imposter syndrome popping up or whatever the case may be, you know that God got you. And like I said, you wouldn't have been called to make this change or make these changes if they weren't beneficial to you. And you're definitely understanding that and realizing that, emotions are a tricky thing at times. The mind can be a tricky thing at times, and it's on you to control it and don't let it control you. For sure. So let's see. I'm almost done here. Rhythm maker. Yep. Going to the beat of your own drum. Dancing to the beat of your own drum. Now there's two people here. So, and they look naked. So I'm just going to put that down because I don't want to. Either way, I'm going to read those from the book. But rhythm maker, tempo is definitely, it's a very colorful card too. Okay. Let me see. Hold on. I don't know how YouTube gonna do me, but it's a very colorful card. It's very colorful and it's bright and it's radiant, and it just shows that you are moving into a very vivid, a very creative and new upbeat reality for yourself. Like you are creating it for yourself. It's think about when you're little and you're coloring like a blank white and black page, and then you just create all these colors, and whether you're scribbling or not, you're just having fun with it. It's very much like it's a newfound freedom for you. Rebel, free spirit. Yes, for a lot of you, you're going against the grain. You're breaking curses, generational curses that may have been in your family for a long time. Maybe the men or the women in your family have continued to go about it in one way, and you're like going against the grain. You're like, listen, we keep doing this, and that's what's leading us here. So I want to do it this way because it's a lot more colorful over here. It's a lot more beneficial for me over here. Everything can't always be the same. And you like, obviously, you're looking at these examples and you're seeing like, that's not it. like, I have to go about it in another way. I have to, because that is what's going to be my story. That's what's going to be my story. That's what, and it's interesting though, because you go from that colorful card to this black one. Like I said, that's just reminding me of the Hermit, going within and pulling out the weeds and going deep within yourself to figure out, like, because like I said, it could be generational, and that for that you do have to go pretty deep. You have to do a lot of shadow work. You have to do a lot of reflecting and reflection. And Rebels, that's not an easy task or easy title to take on, because you'll be met with a lot of pushback. You'll be met with a lot of like, no, don't, and you're still continuing on in that way anyway, because your spirit is free. Your spirit is free. And I love that for you. So I'm going to get one more card here. Innocent. Purity. Yep. Clean slate. You're starting over fresh. You're doing things your way. And that is I think that's a black cat. I don't know. And a horse. It looks like a kitten and a horse. And I love that, because why are they even together? It's very, I just wouldn't think that would be likely. I love that though, because the horse is in like the dog family, and then the kid. I don't know. I just love it, but it just shows that you are coming into this, like I said, with a newfound freedom, a newfound, like a pure way of going about it. You don't have ill intentions or bad intentions when you're in your motives. Like you're doing it for your descendants. You're doing it for the people after you. You're doing it for yourself. You're doing it to set the correct example. And I'm going to read those out of the book here now, because I want to get more insight on them. You have Rhythm Maker first, and that one is on page 130, if that means anything. It says, in the beginning was the beat. 14 million years ago, the universe began with a beat, a pulsation of energy and matter, and the beat goes on. Rhythms are such a part of life that we tend to overlook how fundamental they are, yet they are with us at all times. Your first experience of rhythm was while you were in your mother's womb. With the rudimentary conscious awareness of physicality came the awareness of rhythm. As you developed, you were continually immersed in rhythms, such as your mother's heartbeat and breath. These rhythms would fluctuate during these early formative weeks and months. Even now, you cannot help but notice how dominant rhythms are to everyday life. This is a rhythmic dance going on at all times, around you and inside you. It is the most elemental experience of being alive. You're feeling out of sync with the natural rhythms of your body and your surroundings. Being out of sync can create anxiety, confusion, and in its extreme disorientation. Pause for a few minutes, close your eyes, and allow your breathing to be at a natural pace. Step out of time and simply notice your heartbeat and your breathing. Notice how even ordinary physical movements, such as tapping your fingers, nodding your head, or walking, carry with them innate rhythms. Experiment with drumming and dancing. You don't need a drum to create a drumming rhythm, and you don't need to be a professional to move to the beat of your favorite songs. Allow your body to express itself rhythmically through movement and sound, and notice how doing so can shift your feelings. Let go of your inhibitions and let the rhythm flow through you and express as you. As you let go, you'll enter into a different state of consciousness, one where the rhythm of your movement is moving you. Okay, so for those of you who, like I said, when you get into those, you had that imposter syndrome. You may have that fear of like, can I do this? But like I said, the cards are pretty positive and you're moving into it gracefully. But you maybe get moving, go to the gym, do some dancing. Like they said, put your favorite song on, but move to the beat of your own drum. You're not doing things in a way this isn't the time to do things normal. This is the time to shake shit up. This is the time to, like I said, you're the rebel. So this is a time to do things differently. So you have to break out of those fears. You have to break out of those limiting beliefs that you may be having. That may still pop up from now and then, but the way you are moving is very much in the right direction. These are just natural feelings that may pop up and cause you, to maybe some feelings of concern at times, but you're doing great. Let me see here. Let me read the Rebel card. That's on page 128. The rebel ancestors challenged the status quo. It's not about rebelling against something, but rather making a stand for what they believe in and speaking about and acting on these beliefs without the need for others' agreement or approval. The rebel is a nonconformist who is willing to be assertive and make a stand for their beliefs when necessary, refusing to live within the usual structure of societal norms. There are many examples of rebels throughout history. Susan B. Anthony, John Lennon, Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, Joan of Arc, Rosa Parks, Alexander Hamilton. All right, I don't necessarily agree with all that, but that's another story. Anyway, some rebels may exert such an influence that they change the society in which they live, while others may live their truth more quietly, yet still boldly push the boundaries of what is considered normal. You're finding yourself imprisoned in rituals and routines that no longer carry the same meaning that they once did, yet you have solidly stayed the course for the fear of others' disapproval and criticism. This is just what I was saying. You're now questioning the conditioning that has been imposed upon you through parental, familial, and societal norms and feeling the urge to break out of these patterns. It's time to do so. Quiet the inner critic and release the judgments you carry about yourself. Speak your truth without blame, shame, or judgment, and allow others to have their reactions to your doing so. Express yourself through your actions, your clothing, and your art, and be willing to take some risks in all these ways, and you will experience a newfound freedom that does no harm to anyone or anything. It's your life, live it. That's exactly what I was saying. Exactly what I was saying. You may be going against a lot of shit right now, but that's okay, and it's going to cause you to feel like, damn, am I doing this right? Hell yeah, you are. You're doing it more than right. Just stay the course. It's nothing that you just continue on being positive, continue on being you. Don't allow what you used to do to be what you continue to do, especially if it's not serving you. And then we have this last card, Innocent Purity, and that's on page 109. It says, this archetypal ancestor exemplifies a purity of spirit, uncontaminated by worldly ills and woes. Driven by amiable curiosity and guiltlessness, the innocent is childlike in their quest to experience the world in all of its wonder and beauty. They focus on what's immediately before them, wide-eyed and willing to taste, touch, and feel the flow of whatever life presents. This also implies a vulnerability, one that has its risks, say that 3 times fast, to which they are typically oblivious, yet instinctively reminded of whenever the sharp thorns of the rose bush are grazed. Even in the experiences of confronting the darker shadows of the world, the innocent is able to quickly recover and allow the return to a view of wonder and awe, unscathed by temporary suffering. An infant carries this purity to a great degree, yet as they become enveloped and buffeted by the forces of this world, they develop adaptations that will serve their ability to survive, forcing necessary compromises to this purity in the process. When life has been fully lived on into maturity, the wisdom that is gained can be a gateway for the return to innocence. Approach a troubling situation with the fearlessness, openness, and vulnerability that are hallmarks of innocence, accompanied by the hard-earned wisdom resulting from simply living your life. Coming through periods of suffering and loss that are an inherent part of life, you've learned your lessons and you found your way into a profound appreciation of a greater depth and meaning as to what life is all about. You have come full circle, Wheel of Fortune, and now you have available to you both of these qualities operating in a synergistic balance, available to be called upon as needed. Cast off the shroud of fear, open your heart, speak your truth, and allow wisdom to be the inner elder that sits at the same table as the innocent. As you heed the messages you receive from both, you'll find that you're able to navigate through life with much greater ease. Yes. So this is going back to being a baby of some sorts. Like you gotta look like, and I'm not saying you got to, I'm sorry, but what you're doing is you're literally like pushing past, you're going back to these baby stages. You're kind of not forgetting, you're applying the necessary lessons that need to be, but you're forgetting and releasing is the word I want to use. You're releasing those old curses, those old habits that don't serve you anymore. And you're kind of taking it back. Like, okay, I have to reparent myself in a sense. And that's okay. Sometimes we have to do that. Not to say your parents are bad people, not to say whoever raised you are bad or whatever the case, but sometimes shit sticks with us longer than it should. Sometimes we stay in situations and we stay in scenarios or with people or with jobs or with, whatever, longer than we should, just out of comfortability, just out of fear, like it says. So, but you're realizing now that fear thing, that whole thing, like, think of all the times you had to do something for the first time and then you did it. You was like, oh shit, is this it ain't even all that bad. You know what I mean? This one, don't get me wrong. You being a rebel here is definitely a lot more challenging. I won't lie. It's definitely, and especially as an adult, you know, moving into these new phases, it's kind of like we deal with things where we feel like, oh, I should be here. No, you are right on time. And that the cards don't lie. And the books don't lie. The oracle messages don't lie. So this is definitely looking up for you. This is great energy to be in, and I'm happy for you. And I pray you stay the course and you stick it out, because the blessings that'll come from it, that are already coming from it, that's just the beginning of it. So what's to follow? Yeah. So I thank you all so much for being here with me, and I pray this resonated with you guys. If it did, please let me know down in the comments. You can like and you can subscribe. I also do have personal sessions available over on my website at www.theangelicmuse.com. And if you'd like to follow me over on Instagram, you can do that as well. All my information and everything will be down below. And yeah, so I thank you all so much for being here, and I pray you enjoy the rest of your day or